What's up, man?
Hey, what's up with
How
you,
you
bro?
doing? All right. What up, people? Let's get it in. It's money on the flow. What up? It's money on the flow. All over the goddamn flow. It's money on the flow in New Orleans. Gotta see what's up with this. See what's going on. Hello.
You don't have to say cheese.
Good morning, people. About to get on the elevator, so bear with me. We about to get it in though. It's gonna be a dandy. It's gonna be a dandy.
Go ahead. Have you heard anything about how the plans are coming for this building?
Nothing. They have a little article in the paper, but nothing really specific.
Yeah, I didn't see the article.
It was just one little blog.
He said, Tech said, I'm going out with a bang. Sheesh. We about to get it in. I hope y'all in tune with the subject. If y'all not, I'm gonna bring y'all up to date. Hey, good afternoon. Doom, 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 doom. I'm gonna get right to it. Hold on. Got beer butter on me. Y'all hit the like button as y'all come in here. Share this joint. Got beer butter on me. Anyway, what's going on, people? I was just listening to Drag Him Into the River by UNLV. I'm gonna go through all of that. Listen, right? Some years ago, I put up a video, a dope ass video about UNLV and Mystical's battle, right? I was up watching YouTube late one night and I came across this legendary battle that it was battles going on in New Orleans back in the day between like Cash Money. I think the other company was like Big Block Records or some shit. Whatever the case, Cash Money was battling against Mystical and this company that Mystical was down with. And I came across this fire ass record called Drag 'Em in the River. I'm like, damn, this nigga killing that shit. And this song was by a rapper named Yellaboy, right? The first thing that stood out to me when I heard the track was, I'm like, I heard this track before. And the track actually, Manny Fresh actually used the track twice. This is the same track that Juvenile later made a song called Set It Off. Set it off in this motherfucker. It's the same track basically and shit, right? But it belonged to a cat named Yellaboy. He said Big Boy, okay, Big Boy Records. All right, so boom, right? So I get down with this cat named Yellaboy, and I'm like, damn, this nigga was fire. He was killing Mystical. He was killing him. So I'm like, man, I wonder what happened to him. So I read into the comments and I watched a few more New Orleans hip hop stories, and I found out that Yellaboy got killed, right? They've always blamed a specific person for Yellaboy's demise. I'm gonna go off into all of that shortly. They always pointed the finger at Birdman. Allegedly, they used to say that Yellaboy was killed for pistol whipping Birdman, but according to Tec-9, he didn't pistol whip him. He shot up some of his cars or something like that. He said they had a long history of like flexing on each other. They was just in a bad space, Birdman and Yellaboy, right? Yellaboy was a part of a group that before there was the Cash Money Millionaires, there was a group called UNLV that was popping. Uptown Niggas Living Violently. It was Tec-9 and Yellaboy. It was three of them. They was the niggas that was popping in New Orleans in hip hop before you got down with Juvenile and Lil Wayne and all of these guys that came later. It was UNLV. He said Manny Fresh killed that beat. He killed that beat. He killed it. He killed it so much he used it twice. And when I did my research on the Yellaboy murder, it pointed to Birdman's song, What Happened to That Boy. People always said that Birdman's song, What Happened to That Boy, he was talking about a rapper named Yellaboy. Anyway, yesterday, Tec-9 is a member of UNLV. Tec-9 also said that he's the reason that Yellaboy became a rapper. He said Yellaboy was a drummer in his father's church, and he felt responsible for some of the shit that happened to him. Whatever the case, right? Yesterday, he went viral as a motherfucker. He told a story about how he just outed it. I mean, everybody had always speculated that Birdman was behind the murder because, like I said, it was public knowledge that Yellaboy shot up his cars or some shit like that. But no, it was just speculation. Well, not so much speculation. You can almost say it was like legend. It was part of Birdman's reputation. What happened to that boy was also a part of his reputation. But this situation was always spoke of in the comments by fans and shit like that. Now you got other people on other platforms who discussed it. I believe like a year or so ago, a female brought it back up. But coming out of the mouth of Tec-9 is a lot more damaging because he was down with Cash Money Records at a point in time. And some people say that he's violating the G code with what he said. Whatever. He said it. He flat out said it. And when he's doing this, he has a COVID mask over his face. He's dealing with kidney failure. So I don't know whether or not I got cocoa butter in my face. I don't know whether or not he feel he's terminally ill and he could just say fuck it and just say whatever the fuck he want. But yesterday, he went viral as a motherfucker when he brought this shit back up, and he named a guy by the name of Hot Beezo, who's all over YouTube. In the comments, if you follow the New Orleans stories, they speak about a dude named Hot Beezo, and they always said that he was Birdman's hitter and shit like that. Yesterday, I gotta sit down in this other chair. Yesterday, Tec-9 told the whole story. Tech told the whole story yesterday, and he got the whole internet in uproar. Some people are saying, you gonna cause the feds to come in here. You know that murder cases ain't never over with. I watched the video twice last night, and I thought it took a lot of courage, probably balls, to just go out there, just jump out there like that. But that's his man, and maybe feel like he's at a disadvantage because Birdman has a lot of money and shit like that. Beezo and Gangsta are part of the real Hot Boys. He said he snitched in detail. Listen, right? Unless he was there, you can't say he snitched in detail, because if he wasn't present when it happened, he's not an eyewitness. He's just speculating off of some things that he saw. He said that Birdman bought him a Mustang one time, and he got cool with the guy at the car lot. And after he had the Mustang for a few years, he wanted to trade it in, and he went back to the car lot to trade it in. And Birdman told him, and the car dealer, who he had developed a relationship with, told him, yo, your man was just here. Who? Birdman. He bought somebody a truck. So he said, who was it? And the dude didn't know the guy who was the recipient of the truck. So he said when he went back to the hood later on and shit, he seen the Hot Beezo had a brand new truck. And he said that's what gave him the inclination that that's the person who actually killed Yellaboy, because he had a new truck. He said he's not a rapper. There was no reason. He wasn't a part of the company. He wasn't a part of the street team. There was no reason for him to receive a brand new truck from Baby. So he basically assumed that that was compensation for Yellaboy and Yellaboy's demise. Whatever the case, it's up. It's up. It's up. It's all over. Instagram is one of the hottest stories on Instagram. My man said the whole hood in the city know what happened with Yella. UNLV still a legend on the bounce music tip. Let me get you the fuck up out of here, man. Don't you see I'm in here working? I'm from Pennsylvania, right? And I was aware of what allegedly happened to Yellaboy many years ago. I made a video about it, but I erased it by accident some years ago. This is up like 5 years ago. And people always said that he got killed because of him putting his hands on Baby. They said he pistol whipped him, but according to Tec-9, he didn't pistol whip him. He said he was out of control. He went and shot up some of his cars, some Birdman cars, and they put a hit out on him. And he actually said who the hit was carried out on by, allegedly, Hot Beezo. The whole hood knows, you heard me. Birdman really liked that, though. Dude was a millionaire as a teenager. What about that drill gangster described, talking about Birdman pointed him out? I've heard some gangster stories about Birdman. I believe when he came up to Hot 97 and he told Charlamagne, you better put some respect on my name. I feel that that was genuine. I feel that he was standing on something. He said that. Tech is about that life too. And I feel Tech because that's his close comrade. So he ride for Yella. Plus people in New Orleans know, not outside the world until now. Shit, it's been videos on YouTube for years saying that Birdman killed him. As a matter of fact, they said that the song "What Happened to That Boy," he was talking about Yellaboy. If y'all have never heard this song by Yella, directed at if y'all want to hear Yella rap, there's a song on YouTube, you can look it up. It's from UNLV. It's called Drag 'Em in the River. Just type Yellaboy, Drag 'Em in the River. It's one of the hardest diss songs that you ever heard. He was really sliding on that joint. He said New Orleans got the net on fire right now. Birdman ain't a real gangster. If he were, he wouldn't be getting bent over. Whatever. With all the recent smoke coming Hov's way, that low-key has been coming from Jay Prince and Birdman. The questions is, did Hov, Jay-Z send the smoke Birdman's way? I don't understand what you're saying by that. Just listen to the album Uptown for Life to hear the song. Black people are... That ain't got nothing to do with this conversation. If you got something to say that's outside the conversation, I'm gonna just kick you up out of here. Turk said he was hiding in a high school from Yella as a teenager when Yella came looking for him. They said he was about it. BG song Made Man Baby is rapping about the Yellaboy incident. Okay, so we got more reference songs. What do y'all expect? What's next now that publicly Hot Beezo has been named as the assassin? I thought that was... I ain't never seen nothing in regards to a actual homicide. I never seen nobody just get on YouTube and just say he did it. I've never seen that before. Birdman lost, and when Tech tried to stop Slim from jumping in, Slim hit Tech. I don't respect Tech for the simple fact if Baby would have let him come on a reunion tour, Tech would be cool with it. That's a good point. That's a good point. He said one of the reasons that he was letting all this shit fly is because he's tired of the way that Birdman be handling New Orleans rappers. He said he don't be giving them no opportunities. He said that when he put out some projects, and Tech is a legend down there. When he put out some projects, he went to Juvenile for some support, for some marketing and promotion on Instagram. Yo, repost my shit, share my shit. They didn't do it. Juvenile didn't do it. BG didn't do it. And he said these niggas is only acting like this on behalf of Birdman. They don't want to offend Birdman. Boosie vouched for Birdman. You know he hold nigga shit to the highest regard. I gotta watch the video. The video is 25 minutes long. And you're gonna see a guy who got a COVID mask over his face. But like I said, he had kidney failure. And he's coming up. He said he's coming up for a transplant, a kidney operation. So you gotta have, prior to going through these transplants, your health has to be in like mint condition and shit. So that's why he's wearing a mask. I don't think he was hot in his face because everybody know who he is. And not only that, he got a chain around his neck to say Tec-9. They owe them guys too. Birdman owe all them artists money because UNLV was selling units. They was the first hot boys until that situation. They did that video right down the street from where his nephew got killed. When UNLV dropped the album, they never missed. UNLV stands for Uptown Niggas Living Violent Again. They was the first big actual group on Cash Money Records. If there's anybody that you should check out though, Yellaboy was a rapping ass nigga. He was. If this didn't happen, he would have been as big as, you know, Boosie and the rest of the guys that came from Louisiana that ended up being like cult figures and shit like that. Yellaboy would have been up there like with him, with Boosie and Juvenile and all of them, because he was the shit, for real. Sounds like Tech need to get a job. I don't got him getting no job. The nigga been rapping all his life. He told a very interesting story. He said they was all on drugs. That part of the story, I was like, damn. He said that they was all on drugs, and he said the worst part of him being a drug addict back then is that they had money. It's one thing to be a drug addict and not have any money. But if you're a drug addict and you got lots of money, you can buy all the drugs you want. And so he said Yellaboy was out of his mind back then. He couldn't be contained. So whatever he did to Birdman, couldn't nobody talk him down from it. He felt that them niggas owed them money. Cash Money started coming out with all types of, well, yeah, probably Baby and Slim. They busting out with all types of wild vehicles and getting big money and shit, and them niggas felt like they was owed something. We done heard this story 1,000 times about artists, contracts not being right and money being misappropriated. I heard it UNLV, but never heard the records. Go listen to Drag 'Em in the River. Type in UNLV Drag 'Em in the River. They was snorting that dog food, yeah. There's a pattern. All the rappers I know that moved from their city had accusations of murder. It ain't no secret that the New Orleans rap scene, they was killing. That was like part of it. If you listen to, boy, look, nigga don't play no game no more. Nigga, bust your head if you bang his hoe. I bet you I get them niggas off your block. I bet you I 400 Degrees, the song 400 Degrees by Juvenile. That whole song was talking about murder and gang warfare, like beef. That whole song was about beef. We thought he was just rapping. Baby, give me, what'd he say? Baby, give me the keys to the Rover truck. Man, let me get this beef shit over, bruh. How I look running with these killers and backing down. How I'm look in front of my people like a clown. That shit was real. It took some years for people outside of New Orleans to know what he was talking about. But he was talking about live action. Juvenile had a fight in the projects the day his album talked. He said them niggas was talking. I bet you I get them niggas off your block. I bet you I show them niggas this boy hot. That was all about beef. All beef. Yeah. BG said Cash Money Records going broke, put hits on niggas behind me. Shh. This shit make you want to go and revisit these projects that I'm talking about. That song, Rich Niggas, Cash Money, Loud Bikes, Big Rims, Nigga, That's My Life. That was a beef song. That was a beef song. That was a beef song too. That was. Cash Money versus No Limit. Nah, it wasn't No Limit. It was, somebody said, it was Big Boy Records. I said Big Block. It was Big Boy Records. That was Juvenile. I mean, the guys that Mystical was signed to. Yeah. Allegedly, Master P put a hit on Birdman, Brother Gangster, for $40,000 for killing his little bro Kevin. I heard about that. I heard about that. My brother is from Holly Grove. He told me Birdman got bodies. Rich Niggas was the shit. Mystical Here I Go was a response to Drag 'Em in the River. All of them early songs was beef songs. They was beefing in the city about who was the top record label. But yeah, bodies was dropping. They was. As a matter of fact, Mystical's sister got killed. Mystical's sister got killed, and for some reason or another, I don't know whether he was dating her or he had a relationship with her. People thought that Yellaboy did it, but you can look this shit up. There was a lot of bodies dropping around that time. So, I don't think, I don't think Yellaboy was innocent either. He was with the shits too. He said New Orleans before Katrina was serious. If anybody ever has a chance to go back and listen to UNLV albums, Mac, Mel for Cali, or Uptown for Life. So what y'all expect to happen with this situation with Tech? I think he's too high profile right now for anything that like physically happened to him. And he's not an eyewitness to the murder, but his YouTube channel was on fire for sure. Mystical's sister boyfriend was the Neville brother's son. That's who killed her with a knife. Okay. The killer is locked up. But they thought that Yellaboy did that. Good morning to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all check out my interview that I just did with Hellova. He speaks about Hellova produced T Grizzly's hit song First Day Out. He's known as the Dr. Dre of Detroit. I was with him all day yesterday. I dropped like the first part of the interview. I'm gonna drop the whole interview maybe tomorrow or something like that, but make sure y'all go check that out. We're gonna continue the hip hop. Gully, you knocking right now. Salute, thanks for shooting the content. There's no other way to exist in this space without original content. These live streams and shit, these discussions, they're cool. They add a little cohesion to the channel because we're able to interact with each other. But original content is king. So I just hit y'all. Oh, I gotta talk about this, right? Raekwon says that Nas didn't respond to Jim Jones on his album. You got some people that's saying bullshit. You got other people that's blaming the blogs for that rumor. We didn't start that rumor. We didn't. The fans did. The fans, the comments. That's what brought that whole idea that Nas was responding to the table. People heard him say something about rich bums. The shoe, if the shoe fit, wear it. If the shoe fit, wear it. There was things. I mean, listen, right? Raekwon said that Nas hit him up and said, "Yo, I want to take that verse off because people gonna think I'm talking about Jim." He said it. You feel me? He said it. You dig? So the verse came out. It was leaked some type of way, and of course, people thought that he was talking about Jim. You got people who listened to Raekwon's explanation and said that that's bullshit. He was talking about Jim. He said, "Well, why remove it?" He removed it according to Raekwon. According to Raekwon, Nas called him and said, "Yo, I want to give you another verse because people think I'm gonna be talking about Jim." The verse was removed, right? The verse was removed. Somehow it got leaked and still reached the public. So people said that they feel that he was talking about Jim. Nas said people was gonna feel that he was talking about Jim. So the blogs didn't create no rumors. Before Nas released it, he said people are gonna feel that I'm talking about Jim, according to Raekwon. Whether or not y'all believe Raekwon's explanation, he said he said that he wasn't talking about Jim on my album, I Fuck With Jim. I don't know. I see people in the comments saying that's bullshit. He was talking about him. What y'all feel about it? He said, "What do you think?" What do I think? I think if the shoe fit, lace it up. I mean, it was a lot of shit said. It was, it was a lot of shit said on there that kind of like fit. It fit. It fit him. Nas wrote it. I mean, nigga, you know what you wrote. You was talking about somebody. You just wasn't saying rich. If you said rich bums and niggas is dusty, you was talking about somebody. You just not gonna just throw those types of lyrics out in the air. Something motivated you or triggered you to say some shit like that. Now, some people were saying that he could have been talking about Young Noble, who did a diss record against him. That diss record was so terrible. I don't think Nas would have responded to that. I don't think Nas would have responded to that. That diss record was terrible. I don't think he would have responded to somebody of Young Noble's caliber. Young Noble, I believe, was the last person to join the Outlaws. He wasn't even like one of the real high profile ones. He wasn't like Edie Amin or nothing like that. So I don't think Nas would take the time to engage in a battle with him. I just don't see it. He said, "I think Nas just talking that shit." Nah, man, he was talking about somebody. He was talking about somebody. He said to be called a rich bum gotta hurt. Who do y'all think he was talking about if he said rich bum? Who do y'all think that would apply to? I feel that it had to apply to somebody. But according to Raekwon, he said he fuck with Jim. I believe him and Jim's relationship has been pretty public over the years. He fuck with Jim. I believe he fuck with Mano too. So he said that Nas wouldn't respond to Jim on his project. That would put him in the middle of the shit. But the comment section is there for a reason. You know what I mean? He said, Jim is not a bum. Let me explain something to you. When you say rich bum or something of the sort, I've never really seen Jim Jones publicly, and he wasn't fashionable. But a nigga that's running around throwing up gang signs and running around with a bunch of hoodlums talking about Goonies and shit, that's dirty bum shit. That's what bummy niggas do. Bum niggas gangbang and shit. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Bum niggas gangbang. If you check out a guy like Nas, who's Yeah, the bum part is a mindset. Nas is civilized. He's always been a real smooth, debonair type of dude. A person like with Jim's exterior, that's kind of like contradictory to somebody like Nas. So for him to say, if he was referring to him as a rich bum, bums be the niggas that be fucking up the club and shit. Like you can have jewelry and all that shit, but whenever we out and shit, you get the fighting or, it's some shit going on. That's bum shit. So he said bum is definitely a mentality. Jimmy don't write his raps. He let dudes write for him. We seen Jim write. Jim been rapping on platforms doing freestyles, and I think he's on bars on 9-5. He's been on a few platforms rapping, so I don't think we're gonna no longer question his skills as far as a rapper. He been doing it long enough for him to at this point be a rapper. I'm not saying that there's no history to people writing for him. There's probably some truth to that, but at this point, he's a rapper. Nas went crazy, but I'm ready for him and Jim to line that up song for song. Don't throw rocks and hide your hand. Jim Jones can't keep up with Nas on no song battle or nothing like that, man. Like, Nas got he has songs that will just obliterate Jim. Project Windows, Mastermind, Last Words of a Hanging Slave. I could go on and on and on. New York State of Mind, that type shit gets Jim up out of here. He can't hang out. It's not even close. So what's the end game to this? I think Jim is gonna keep pressing the issue. Like we can expect Jim probably to say something else to Pusha T and Nas. I mean, these conflicts has made him a discussion piece for the last couple of months. Like the whole summer, he's been spoken about online. So it's pretty ironic how you ended great God Taj Mahal's career when you revealed who he is. No more momentum. I'm glad. And somebody called me and hit me up about that. They was like, you kind of like you kind of derailed his motion when y'all had that little conflict. Taj deserved that. He does. He did. He deserved that. I don't feel sorry for telling people who he was. I don't feel sorry for posting them pictures of him when he was a fucking nerd. None of that. Don't play with me, my nigga. Like, find somebody else to play with. The shit that you be rapping about, everything, every detail of it. I live that shit. I got them cases on my jacket. I got the pictures going back when I was 14, 15. Cables hanging from my neck, diamonds in my ears, all of that. Every element that he promotes or, raps about. If you was in high school looking like a nerd, I was out of your league. I was already running with drug kingpins and shit like that when I was in school. Like, they was picking me up from school in the box Maximas and shit like that. Straight up. I was having conflict in school with teachers and principals. Like, why is you wearing all that jewelry to school and shit? Like, I'm a kid. I don't know no better. I think this is what's up. Todd shouldn't have been playing around with me like that. It's funny y'all mentioned that. Somebody posted, it's an old picture of Jim Jones. Somebody posted a picture of Jim Jones in the 90s before this rap shit. A lot of these dudes got explaining to do, man. When they get to talking about how they was pitching and shit like that, we didn't look like that. We didn't. For real, niggas got explaining to do, man. Like, don't do that with me. Don't do that with me. Straight up. Nas can really take a step over Hove if we get Ether 2 and he can top that. I think Ron Brow's production on Ether had a lot to do with with Jay-Z being destroyed. In my opinion, Nas won that battle. He did. Do I think he's a better rapper than Jay-Z or had a better career than Jay-Z? Nah. Nas has classic albums and verses. Jimmy has hits and regional hits is different. Nas is culture. Jimmy is a common rapper. Anybody can hustle no matter how you look. My nigga, we was rocking Carl Kanai. You know what I'm saying? Taj got a picture with a fucking tie on and some other shit looking like a goddamn nerd and shit. That's what the fuck he is. We was rocking Carl Kanai. I'm talking about at 92, 93, we was rocking Carl Kanai. That shit costed money. We was them big sweatshirts with the metal plate on them. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you had one, they had the hat with the metal plate on them and shit. We was rocking that shit. That's what hustlers was wearing. Polo, Carl Kanai, shit like that. Tommy Hill. Wasn't nobody coming to school looking like Taj and shit unless that's who you were and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he voluntarily went to school looking like that unless that's who he was. He said the metal tag, yeah. Cross Colors was kind of like 90, 91. By the time 92 came, Carl Kanai took over entirely. Go look at old videos, straight up. That's, y'all, not everybody in the world, y'all just flashy and sharp. He probably was selling weed. That nigga was selling people a dream. That's the fuck he was doing, yo. It destroyed all of his motion for real. I think Marcy even disposed of another story of how you can't outrun your character. I knew he was a nerd because he had terrible character judgment. He did. He had terrible character judgment will carry you a long way and shit. You supposed to be able to, you got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth for a reason. You got 2 eyes and 2 ears to observe. You should, on contact, you're supposed to be able to somewhat evaluate a person just off of visuals and shit and just checking them out. You should have an idea who you're dealing with. He said we had the starter shit. Starters were still popping and shit, but we stopped wearing starters, man. Like, that was, Starter had his time, but it was late 80s, early 90s. By the time 91, 92 came, 93, if you was getting money, you was rocking a Sherlin, period. You was rocking a Sherlin or you was rocking a Soda Club Pelly jacket. And niggas that get money, that was getting money as a shorty, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. If y'all know what a Sherlin is the leather jackets that the Boys to Men had on the front cover of their debut album. Them leather jackets, they was wearing them. They had them to the ankles and shit. That was like some of the livest, flyest shit you could have had on your back then. That was some of the fly. I'm talking about. You didn't need anything else. Sherlin, T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? He said sheep coats and 8-ball jackets. Those was 80s. The 8-ball jacket, that was some 80s shit. Like, by the time the 90s came, Sherlin's, Pelly jackets, if you didn't have that type of money and you was on the block, you was wearing a Columbia or a Helly Hansen. But when it was cold, Sherlin's, straight up. He said North Face. Them is all block jackets, man. You're not wearing no goddamn North Face on no date. You're not wearing no North. If you was wearing a North Face, you was still a shorty, man. Like, those was block jackets. Them was the jackets that you toe up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing. That wasn't no fashion statement, man. North Faces was for selling rocks when it was cold outside, man. Like, you took your North Face off and put a Sherlin on and shit. Friday night, Saturday night, dates, homecoming, prom, Sherlin. He said Averex. Well, nobody wearing Averex in 92. And Averex has been out since the 70s, but wasn't nobody wearing them joints until like 94, 95, 96, shit like that. 98. Woolrich is another block jacket, man. Y'all talk about Woolriches and Fat Gooses and shit. Them was block jackets, man. Them was jackets that you wore if you was gonna be on Blake. Those was for a reason. Those was for standing outside. Why you think a motherfucker wanted one of them big ass Parkers on? That's because there was no cell phones. Few niggas had beepers. Niggas was out the fuck side in blizzards. That's what them coats was for and shit. Wasn't nobody gonna be outside fucking up no Sherlin and shit. Sherlin's was good butter leather and shit. I used to put cocoa butter on my joint, make that joint real soft and shit. Al Wissam, that's some Detroit shit. That's Midwest. I had an Al jacket. I did, leather. Al Wissam is like a Pelly jacket for Detroit hustlers and shit. Did you have FUBU? I was kind of locked up during FUBU's prime. In college, I had the platinum FUBU shit. I just had a platinum FUBU jacket on here a couple months ago. I had the butter leather on with the with Fat Albert on the back. I had it on this channel. If you follow me on IG, I just had on a platinum FUBU butter back in the wintertime. He said you was getting a different kind of money. Grindstone said 8-ball jackets came out in 1990. I said late 80s, early 90s. I know that you said 90. That's probably, yeah, that's around the time 8-ball jackets came out. It was another jacket that was around, it might have preceded the 8-ball jacket. It was called High Roller and shit. If you see the movie King of New York, the nigga had on the High Roller butter leather and shit. That was one that probably preceded the 8-ball jacket. This shit that I'm talking to you about, this timeline, I couldn't mistake it. You know what I'm saying? I had an older brother that was a hustler. My cousin Mike was getting big money. Like, I was bred in that shit. You know what I'm saying? But when you see them pictures of niggas and you're a team and your dribble wasn't right, you was perpetrating about your background and shit. You was. I done been through this shit a few times. Them niggas, like the picture that I seen of Jim, he looked at high school age. I was balling in high school, yo. He said, what about Pelly Pelly? I said Soda Club. The Soda Club jacket was one of the high-end Pelly jackets and shit. You can go type it in, Soda Club Pelly Pelly. I can't miss. I was wearing this shit. This shit was in my closet. You know what I'm saying? Like I could no longer. I used to have to explain this shit to my mother, man. Where the fuck did you get this jacket at and shit? You know what I'm saying? Coming home with leather jackets with rhinestones and shit on the back of them. You 15, you gotta explain that shit. I was still living in the crib with my mom playing NBA Jam and shit. Straight up. He said North Face was big in high school. It was kind of like, North Face was kind of like a common jacket that people wore in the wintertime on the East Coast and shit. Anyway, make sure y'all go check out a song called Drag 'em in the River by Yellaboy so y'all can hear this nigga and shit. He said UNLV game buckets. The game hats was the shit. If y'all don't know what game gear is, go look at videos of Michael Bivens, Belle Biv DeVoe, and Another Bad Creation. The shit that ABC was wearing, Another Bad Creation, and Criss Cross was wearing, that's what motherfuckers was trying to get off the block. Like, them niggas was setting the bar. For real. I told them niggas when I met them. I met Another Bad Creation. I'm cool with them niggas. I told them, you niggas was pressure. Another Bad Creation had a lot to do with young niggas selling rocks. I'm telling you. telling you, them niggas had all of it. They had all of it. They had them starter baseball jerseys and shit like that with the hat to match and shit. Man, that shit. I'm talking about the joints with the pinstripes. Had to have that shit, yo. For real. He said, yeah, they was putting it on. They was the flyest little niggas on TV. If you wanted that shit, you like, damn, man, they making this shit for little niggas, man. Like, I grew up in the projects of ATL with them niggas, Harris Holmes. I feel like the LA brothers couldn't dress in the 90s. Niggas in the 90s from LA was dressing like what they seen. Like NWA was wearing Dickies and Carhartt, and the way I think the other jacket they was wearing, it was called a Pendleton or some shit. The Mexican niggas said that they stole that dress code from them. I don't know. Go check out my interview I did with ABC. They on this channel, Another Bad Creation. I interviewed them niggas about fashion. They was talking about they was coming back to their hood, getting robbed for their starter jackets and shit like that. He said the facts, the starter in the game hats and leader tag on the hat was the style. Yeah, I come from that tag on the hat. My mom used to hate that shit. Take that fucking tag off that hat. You looking tacky. Oh, shit. Met them dudes in New Orleans, ABC. Yeah, my mom used to be bugging about that. Why the fuck you still got that tag on that hat? Listen, yo. Go check out the video by Tec-9. If y'all haven't seen it already, Tec-9 from UNLV. He just flat out said that Birdman is responsible for the death of Yellaboy, and Hot Beezo is the one that carried out the contract. I don't know where them niggas is at this morning. I know they don't appreciate that heat being on their ass online. He said, I'm talking about hated that shit. Elders didn't like that shit. He said my pops was a college snapback king. My pops used to take my hats. I thought it used to look cool in my hats and shit. You know what I'm saying? I have a hat, I rock it for a few days, and you know, I turned around, pops then ran out the crib to work with the joint on and shit. I go ahead, you got that, G. He said my pops was the same way. Yeah, my pops used to be rotating my hats and shit. It was like they was our hats, like we shared the hat collection. BG's true story is all about the big boy beef. He said, what happened to the crypto dude you had the interview? I seen him at the gym, man. He kept, I got to get my hair done. I got to do this. I got to do that. He started to lose sight of it was a privilege to be in front of this camera. It wasn't about him. It was about me sharing that information with y'all and shit. But it wasn't about him. And he kind of like started to make it about him. I'm from New Orleans. Tec-9 gonna catch a lot of heat for saying that, but everybody know that shit already. Okay. Villanova always had the fly college gear. The whole Big East was turned up. Villanova had the pinstripes. Georgetown had the pinstripes. Syracuse, they had the pinstripes. The whole Big East. The Pitt Panthers, all of them. Turk was the worst rapper in the Hot Boys. I thought that together they was cool. I never listened to his solo shit. It was called Young and Thuggin'. I didn't buy that joint. He said my pops was the same way. Yeah, pops used to be taking all the hats. I ordered the trifecta, just waiting on it in the mail. It's on its way. Do you begin stopped by guys that know your pops and they be like, you look just like him all the time? When I first got to the prison system and shit. it was dudes that had been in jail like 25 years and shit. So they was on the streets when I was a baby. And I would be in the yard and shit, man. And, you know, I walk by and old timer niggas be looking at me and they be whispering and shit. Or, you know, I used to catch this one older dude named Jay Hines. He eventually came up and introduced himself. And his name was Jerome Hines. He was an old robber and shit. He had been down for decades and shit. He walked up to me one time in the yard. He was like, hey, yo. He was like, is you John Lindsay's son? I said, yeah. He was like, man, you move just like that nigga, man. He said, your mannerisms, like, man, I was watching you walking around the track, you know, you and your little homeboy and shit. He said, man, your mannerisms, like, you like a carbon copy of that nigga. Like, that shit happens to me all the time. Like, I'll see older dudes and they'll smile and shit. Like, man, you look just like your dad. I find myself doing that, though. You know what I'm saying? It's this little fat dude that I be seeing. I had a homie named Trail and shit that was fat. He got a fat son, looked just like him and shit. Whenever I see him and shit, I see my homeboy. He looked just like him, big cheeks and shit, and it just makes me smile. But yeah, that happens all the time. He said, we the exact same generation. You remember they used to steal off the clotheslines? Yeah, I went on a clothesline caper and took a, me and this nigga named Johnny, when I lived in Norfolk, he took me to get my first Taiwan sweatsuit. We robbed the older hustler. He had them laying, they was hanging on the clothesline in the projects. Johnny had been stalking him and shit. And he took me with him. And that was my first Taiwan sweatsuit. We took him, we tore him off the clothesline and shit. Was in school with them joints. Oh, shit. That's why Birdman keep Hot so close. Shit made me laugh now, man, robbing the motherfucker clothesline. I don't think they got them clotheslines in the projects anymore and shit. Well, you know, certain projects, you had your own clothesline behind your house and shit, especially the ones in the South. You the same age as my uncles. They all hustle in the early 90s. He said, nah, they don't. Hot Beezo gotta go now. New Orleans has been known to deal with they internal shit. You know how they do it, so. They still have them in North Carolina. They still got them down here, okay. You have a lot of my people, you gave a lot of my people a platform and helped them get out the streets. Much love from Chicago. Appreciate that. Terry DeHare follows me on Instagram. He around. Georgia, they still got the clotheslines. I'm about to get up off here, man. I had to come in here and share that whole story with y'all about pull this joint back. I shared the whole story with y'all as far as the best of my knowledge about UNLV, because I got down with them maybe about 5 years ago, late night, just scrolling through YouTube, and I found out about that battle that they had with Mystical. So check that shit out. Check out Tec-9's video. He got his own YouTube channel. Just type in Tec-9 Yellaboy and it should pop up. His whole channel should pop up, so you could check him out. Anyway, I gotta go. Make sure y'all go to the website, get the trifecta, man. TheRealDribble.com. Go over there and get that. He says sneakers drying on the roof. Get the trifecta, take it, enjoy your summer, man. The gym is a must. You must put in time at the gym, man. Your appearance tells a lot about you without you even saying anything. So if you want to put in, lay an impression with the opposite sex, take the trifecta and get to the gym. He said, that's crazy. I was up top myself, and the same shit happened to me about my father. I was his namesake, so at mail call, they would just look up every time me and my man from Brooklyn held me down and shit. I'm out, man. Y'all have a great afternoon. I'm about to go ship out some packages and head to the gym. Again, thank you, and make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at IamGullyTV and watch my interview that I just put out with Hellova from Detroit, man. He produced T Grizzly's smash hit, and it changed the dynamics of Detroit music forever. First day out, go check that out. I'm out of here.